This is Spartan Commander, and this is 966 Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I put onto YouTube. And what an absolute cracking battle I've got for you today. As you can see, this is played on one of our popular custom maps. I believe this is called Brennan's Rock. And as you can see, a very undulating ground map. And as we've talked about in a lot of our battle videos, tactical ground movement is very, very important on these type of maps. Now over here you'll see this is a very good area for Team 2 to form up, if they want to form up there, because it's a good defensive position, because you can attack from this direction, look. So that's that's completely out of the question here. So you can't attack from there, and if you attack from here, you'll see that it's an uphill battle there. As you can see there, uphill battle there. And if you try and attack from the other flank as well, that's uphill as well. So it's a very good defensive position if the enemy team want to take advantage of it. It'll be interesting to see if that's what they're going to do. But as I say, a very undulating ground map. So as I say, tactical ground movement could be very important in this battle. Okay, our first teammate is someone who's called himself Chinny Poo, but his Brotherhood member Scorpion King SR. Now he's got 10 cavalry and 5 peasants. Just to let you know, this is a no archer battle, no horse archers, no foot archers. Can you see that they are fully upgraded, those cataphracts? That's 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack, and that gives these guys a massive 29 defense. Yeah, 29 defense, so they're very difficult to kill. And as I say, they can be battle-winning troops if used correctly. And there's his 5 peasants there as well, which I presume he'll use as kind of like to try and get enemy troops to throw pilers into them, possibly. So that's Scorpion King's Parthian army. As I say, no archers, foot archers, slingers, or head hurlers in this battle. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Vicox. Now Vicox has got 14 pikes and 6 chariots. 14 pikes and 6 chariots. There you can see he got 8 upgrades on his pikes, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his pikes there. And just I always like to look at the length of the Pontus pikes, Macedonian pikes, Seleucid pikes, and just think that the enemy team have got to try and fight all the way down those pikes to kill the man on the other end. And that can be quite difficult. And there you got the infamous Pontus chariots. Really good attack specifications, massive fear factor, but as we've talked about in many videos before, if they run amok, they become a menace to both friend and foe alike, as they kill both friend and foe alike. And I always say to people, if you're not confident or competent with chariots, really think if you want to bring them, because they are a real double-edged sword. They can be battle-winning troops, but also, as I say, they can be a menace as well. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Skema. Now Skema's got 15 Sacred Band Spearmen and 3 Cavalry. 15 Sacred Band Spearmen and 3 Cavalry. You notice here, I think most of his Sacred Band Spearmen had 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. But if I remember correctly, I think he did have mixed upgrades. There you are, yeah. Some of his guys have just got gold shield, gold attack on. And I think he's got 2 light cavalry and an armoured cavalry general. There you are. Fast moving, these light cavalry units can move around the battlefield. Hit troops, enemy troops in the rear when they're tired. And our last teammate is myself. Spartan Commander's got his very old Roman army of 14 infantry and 5 cavalry. But what a diverse team we've actually got here. Very unusual to have such a diverse team, I would suggest. I mean, we've got Parthia there with Scorpion King. We've got Pontus there with Vicox. We've got Carthage with Skema, and myself with Rome. Should be a great battle. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Mantu. Now Mantu's got the bog standard 31k Roman army of 14 infantry and 6 cavalry. Okay, 14 infantry and 6 cavalry for Mantu. Their next teammate is a Brotherhood member Tabor. Now Tabor's got 14 infantry and 6 cavalry as well. The only difference between his and Mantu's army is that Tabor has got a morale boosting eagle unit he's brought to his army. As we talked about before, morale boosting units always a good idea, always giving it extra morale, especially when the battle gets down to right down to the end. And that's an unusual battle formation, I would suggest, as well. There. Their next teammate is Brotherhood member Royer. Now Royer's just got 14 Spartans. Okay, 14 Spartans there. I'm guessing with all gold shield, gold attack on, so that's quite a formidable army there. And their last teammate is a Brotherhood member Mars. Now he's got 11 spearmen, spear warband, 3 berserkers and 6 cavalry. Now I would suggest is maybe an unusual Germanic army build here, because there you are, you've got the anti-cavalry spear warband troops. So obviously anything with a spear or a pike is anti-cavalry. So there you've got 11 of those, and I think they've got 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Okay, so 11 of those particular units. As I say, maybe I'm wrong, but I would suggest that is an unusual army build. No axemen, no knight raiders for the added fear factor. Then we've got the infamous berserkers there. Okay, so these guys have got effective against armor maces. They've got 2 hit points, excellent attacking specifications, and a massive fear factor, taking morale away from enemy troops, destabilizing them, and making them more susceptible to routing. Now, arguably, these are the most powerful units in the game, and that's why we only allow 3. But 3 are fine if you combine that with your allies, and if you work tactically, those 3 berserkers can still be battle winning there. I just want to show you the difference in size from berserkers to ordinary units. Can you see how taller the berserkers are in comparison to normal units there? And of course Mars has gone for the Germanic Gothic cavalry with 8 upgrades on, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. As I say, check out the specifications of this Gothic cavalry. I think you'll be quite surprised on how good they are. So as I say, I thought it was an interesting Germanic army build, and maybe a little bit unusual there. Quite diverse, isn't it really? They got Rome, Greek cities, and Germania. So as I say, it's got the potential to be an absolutely cracking battle, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. Now also, did you notice that the enemy team have not taken advantage of the hill there to form up? So it should be a good battle for you to watch. Okay, this very early stage of the battle, we literally just press start. You'll see that Vicox has divided his pike army into 2 mini armies. So it'll be interesting to see how he uses those 2 mini armies around the battlefield. Certainly does increase the flexibility of his army there. And just to show you that I'm all the way over on the left flank here. Okay, and the team has decided that we're going to fight over from the right flank. So I've now got to run all the way over to the other side there, and hopefully not be intercepted by enemy troops. Okay, so I've got quite a long way to run before we even get into battle there. So that's what I'm going to be doing there, running as fast as I can over to that other flank. Now, Scorpion King, as we know, is one of the most aggressive and attacking players on Rome Total War, and I know especially when he's got Parthia, he can be very aggressive there, and he knows his cataphracts are fully upgraded, so they will be kind of difficult to kill. And if you notice here, can you see him running his cataphracts forward there towards a Germanic army? Now if you notice here, I think Scorpion King has split his cataphract army into 2 lots as well. Okay, and you can see the Germanic Mars' Germanic army there moving towards a Royer's, a Greek city's army. Okay, and you can see Scorpion King here getting around the flank of that Germanic army. Can you think what he might be thinking here with those cavalry? I don't know if you're thinking the same as me, but can you see those berserker units there? Now remember, if an enemy unit gets close or even touches or even gets close to those berserker unit, it activates them, and then they just charge after the nearest enemy unit, and the Germanic general loses all control over them. Okay, so if those berserkers are activated by Scorpion King's cavalry, the Germanic general will lose all control over 3 of the most powerful, if not the most powerful units in the game. So I didn't know whether Scorpion King was possibly thinking that, but with that well-upgraded Germanic cavalry just behind, and those anti-cavalry spearmen there as well, I would think he probably won't try and activate those berserkers at this stage of the battle. So as I say, you can see that both Scorpion King and Vicox have split their armies up into 2 mini armies, and there's the peasants there, the Parthian peasants. I'm not sure how he's going to use those in regard of those Germanic spearmen. Now remember, those Germanic spear units there, their morale's not very good, so it'll be interesting to see how well they do during the course of the battle. And as I say, you can see Scorpion King, you know, you can almost feel he's got his finger on the trigger, can't you? You know, those of you that fought with and against Scorpion King will know how aggressive and attacking he is right from the beginning of the battle there. Now remember, I'm running all the way over from the other flank, so when I get over to that flank, I'm going to have to rest my troops. I can't throw them straight into combat. And so if my allies do get into any combat here, I'm not going to be able to help them. As I say, notice that the enemy have come down from the hill there and are formed up in front of the hill, but I'm wondering whether Scorpion King is thinking about moving his cavalry up onto that higher ground himself. He may well do that. Maybe the chariots as well. And the way that Vicox is moving one of his mini armies around the flank there, I'm just wondering whether Scorpion King and Vicox are thinking about getting on the higher ground that the enemy team have vacated, really. That they didn't even really set up there, did they? Right, let's pause again for a second here. Now, if you notice here, can you see that 2 of Vicox's chariot units here, okay, have run in to probably the worst units that they would want to run into, the Spartans. Okay, rather than take the chariots on a wider arc, I think Vicox has tried a short, direct route to get onto the higher ground, and those 2 chariot units, yeah, see, instead of taking the wide arc, he's tried to go in a more direct route, and those 2 chariot units have run into, as I say, probably the worst unit that chariots would want to run into, and that is Spartans. So there you are, you can see those chariots now. It wouldn't surprise me if both those chariot units routed there now. And so we're down to, there you are, both the chariot units have been routed, and we're down to 4 chariots now instead of 6. So that's what I think there. I think he was, instead of taking a wide arc round there, he took a more direct arc, and those chariots kind of ran into the Spartans there. From what I can see, that's what I think's happened there. So that's a bit, that was a bit sad really for us. And as I say here, you can see my Julii army. I'm nearly over to my allies now from that left flank there. Still trying to run to get over there, but as I say, once I do get over there, my troops will need a break before I can put them into combat. So I hope my allies don't get too kind of entrenched in the fighting there. Right, you can see Scorpion King's got 5 of his fully upgraded cataphracts in behind the enemy team, and you can see he's moving another 5 lots of cataphracts towards that higher ground as well. Okay, so good tactical ground movement there for Scorpion King, getting onto the higher grounds. Now, Vicox here, he may well want to move his pikes up onto the higher ground as well to support the cataphracts. Plus, of course, he's got his chariots as well. So, ground-wise, like tactical ground-wise, I think that would be great if they could get up onto that higher ground, I think. As you can see there, you can see the chariots already starting to move up on there, so you can see that's exactly where they're going. And there you can see Vicox taking one of his mini armies around the flank there. Okay, looks like he's going to go up onto the hill. And you can see the Greek city's general Royer turning his Spartans to face the threat. Now, if you notice here, I think that both Scorpion King and our Pontus ally there are kind of getting a little bit away from the rest of their team, aren't they? You know, it looks like they're kind of getting a little bit isolated there on that right flank. Okay, and I can see the enemy troops moving towards them there. And I would say that's kind of a little bit risky. And look where my Julii army is. I've only just got over there. And see that amok chariot is already chopping down some of my infantry already there, as you can see. So as I say, that's one of those amok chariots that ran into the Spartans, cutting down our Carthage allies light cavalry as well. Look at that one chariot unit there, those scythes cutting down that's light cavalry of Carthage. So like I say, you can become quite unpopular quite quickly when your chariots run amok and start killing your allies. Right, okay, so you can see here that Vicox has moved one of his mini armies over to the right, but now you can see that Royer is being ultra aggressive with his Spartans here, and is looking to pin and hold Pontus, that mini army of Pontus, and those cavalry up on the hill there. So, as I say, I'm not sure what Vicox and Scorpion King are going to do there, but the Germanic army is also moving over there as well. So, things not looking very good there, I don't think, for Scorpion King and Vicox there. And as I say, the Germanic general is moving his troops up there as well. It wouldn't surprise me if some more enemy cavalry move there. Here you can see the rest of our army there. You can see Vicox is trying to take one of his mini armies up there to support the other mini army, but I'm not sure that's a good move at this stage of the battle. But you can see that both Scorpion King and Vicox's mini army there are being forced back, and I think they could literally be swamped by enemy troops here if they're not careful. Now here you can see Scorpion King's got 5 of his cataphracts. He can't go down because, can you see, all those enemy troops would intercept him if he tried going down there. So he's going to, I would suggest, go either over there or over that direction there, just to escape from the situation that he's at. Because of course those anti-cavalry Germanic spearmen there, he doesn't want to get close to them either. So there you can see the enemy troops are moving towards the chariots. And now you can see Vicox. I think Vicox is Pontus pikemen there are going to get caught by those Spartan units there. And look how far away Scorpion King and that mini army of Vicox are now away from their allies. And they've got a very, very good chance here of actually being taken out. So there you can see Spartans moving forward there. Let's just pause the game for a second. Right, I just want to show you something interesting here. So as I said, you can see that all of Vicox's mini pike army has now been routed there by a combination of Germanic and Spartan units. But also, you might find this interesting. Can you see that that one berserker unit is activated? Now, I'm guessing here, but I'm pretty sure that Mars would not have activated that berserker unit himself. Okay, he wouldn't have activated it himself, but because that berserker unit got close to one of the Pontus pike units there, it's kind of activated him. Okay, so like I said earlier, if a berserker unit gets close to any enemy units or gets touched by any enemy unit, then they are then activated, and the Germanic general loses all control over them completely. So as I say there, you can see that there. It wouldn't surprise me if the other berserker units got activated as well. There's 1, 2 and 3. There you go. All the berserker units have now been activated there. Okay, you can see that. And that's all from running in to those routing Pontus pikemen. I just thought you might find that interesting. So I don't think there's any way, there's no reason for Mars to have activated them himself. So as I say, they got close to those Pontus pikes and are now activated and out of the control of the Germanic general. Okay, so sadly Vicox has lost this one mini army completely, and you can see them all moving over there. And now Scorpion King's got 5 of his cavalry up on this hill. Now, like I said before, he can't go down, and I think the only way he's going to get away from that position is to back off over there, because make no mistake, those berserkers will head for his cavalry, and I think he needs to move those Parthian cavalry over there out the way of those berserkers. You watch how fast those berserkers move in on Scorpion King's cavalry. Can you see that? With their effective against armor maces, and of course, like we talked about, their massive fear factor. And here they come. They're going to smash in. So Scorpion King needs to move those. Bang! They get hit by those berserkers. Right, you can see Scorpion King now moving his Parthian cavalry downhill into the enemy troops. So he's got the downslope or downhill cavalry advantage there as he charges down. But just looking at the enemy numbers, both infantry and cavalry and berserkers, I just don't think he's going to manage to hold there. You can see that he's alt-attacked his cataphracts and they're using their effective against armor maces. But I think it's just going to be a numbers game here. Actually, I think he's holding quite well, really. But there's that Germanic Gothic cavalry coming in. And bang! As they smash in there. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, right, so that's 5 of Scorpion King's cataphracts have just been routed and taken out. So that is half of his army. So both Vicox and Scorpion King at this early stage of the battle have lost half their army. Okay, so there, look. So that's really you know, unfortunate for our team, I think. There you can see all those dead Pontus pikemen there. So now all those enemy troops can now concentrate on what we've got left. But as I say, make no mistake, Scorpion King and Vicox have now lost half of their army in the early stage of the battle. Now what I would suggest here is we need to look at a place where we can form up slightly higher ground or something like that. In this undulating ground map. We need to do that, or I think we could find ourselves inundated by enemy troops there. Okay, as I say, I've just got over here now from the other flank, running flat out, so my troops are now at least winded, probably close to tired there, and in the time it's taken me to run over there, unfortunately, as I said, Scorpion King and Vicox have lost half their armies. So, as I say, things not looking very good, I don't think, really, for our team at this stage. Okay. Okay, so over here you'll see that the 3 berserkers, remember I said to you they're chasing the nearest enemy unit. Now, you can see those 3 berserkers there are now chasing one of the Parthian cavalry units. Now, if... sorry about this. If Scorpion King took that unit all the way over there, he would lead the berserkers a long, long way away from the battle. And that's a tactic that we used to use years ago. One cavalry unit just leading the berserkers away from the battle so they can't have much influence in the battle, because obviously they'd be drawn away from where the main fighting was. But if you notice here, you see Scorpion King is taking that cavalry units towards his allies. So make no mistake, the berserkers will follow him over there. But he may well have a tactical plan in his mind here. And what I mean by that is, if he draws them over to his pike and spear allies, Carthage and Pontus, remember that barbarians, including berserkers, die quickly on pikes and spears. So what I'm thinking that Scorpion King is thinking here is lead those berserkers over towards, as I say, is Carthage and Pontus pike and spear allies there, and those berserkers could be killed quite quickly. Okay, so as I say, the berserkers are chasing there, and there you've got a wall of Pontus pikes there that the berserkers would be killed on those pikes quite quickly. Or you've got the Carthaginians there as well, of schemers there, who they would be killed, you know, they get killed quite quickly. I would just make sure I move my Red Julia army away from the berserkers and just let the berserkers charge into the pikes or spears of my allies. Okay, that's the thinking there. So as I say, that might be what Scorpion King's thinking, or he might have another plan on how to take those berserkers out. Now remember what we've talked about before, those berserkers are probably the most powerful units in the game. Okay, so taking them out would be a big thing for us, bearing in mind you know, the kind of dire situation that we're in at the moment there. But anyway, you can see the berserkers running forward. Now you're going to see something quite interesting that you might not have seen before in a minute. Okay, you can see those berserkers running forward, and I think, if I remember it, they're tired. If you look at them, can you see they're tired? Right. So that means that their battle proficiency and their morale will be very low at this time. Okay, if it gets to very tired, okay, something strange happens to them then, which you might well see in a minute. Okay, so just watch those berserkers running forward. As I say, we're surprised if they got very tired in a minute. Okay, they've been running for a long time now. There they are. As I say, running for a long time, so it wouldn't surprise me if they're very tired. Right now, our guys need to move our cavalry back. Back. Come on, guys, quick. And I need to move my Julia army back quick as well. Right, so there you are. You can see those berserkers still running. So I'm guessing they're going to be very tired now. Okay. There you are. You can see them running. Yeah, very tired. Okay, now something strange happens to them when they get very tired or exhausted, as you will see here. So you can see at the moment that they're in berserk mode, because you can see the banners glowing above their heads. Okay, see that all the banners there glowing above their heads, so they're in berserk mode, and they're charging towards our troops there. But because they're very tired, as I say, their morale and battle proficiency will be very low, and you might see them actually just come out of berserk mode. Just watch the red glowing banners above their heads. Right, can you see that 2 of the berserkers have now come out of a muck mode? Okay, and that is because they're very tired. They're unhappy about being very tired, and they can probably sense a lot of enemy troops in front of them. That one berserker unit is still activated there. It wouldn't surprise me if that one came out of berserk mode as well. Watch the banner above that unit there. Can you see the banner is no longer glowing red? So that unit now is no longer in berserk mode. So now, okay, they're not in berserk mode. They can die quite quickly. And there you are, you'll see Scorpion King now charging what's left of his cataphracts to try and kill the berserkers. It wouldn't surprise me if he sacrificed his cavalry here to actually kill those berserkers. And there you go, you can see there, he's charging in there. There you are, you can see the Germanic cavalry charging into him as well, and the Brutii cavalry, and bang, as they smash in there. And you got the Germanic infantry, that's the Parthian general just been taken out. Okay, that's good, the Germanic general's just been taken out. Oh, and the Brutii general has just been taken out. So Scorpion King, I think, has killed all the berserkers and taken out 2 enemy generals as well. But he's got these anti-cavalry Germanic troops coming in on his rear, and he's fighting 2 lots of cavalry. So like I said, I think that he's probably going to lose all his cavalry. There's that berserker unit there, that's not going to rally there. So yeah, so he's killed, as I say, all the berserkers and 2 of the enemy generals as well there. So well done to Scorpion King, but I think from what I can remember, he sacrificed his cavalry, what's left of his cavalry there, to do that. And so there you can see there Skema charging his cavalry in as well. Look, and bang, as he smashes in there. But I think Scorpion King, I think it's too late to pull his cavalry out now. They'd rout anyway. And he would have caused them quite a few casualties there with his cavalry. So well done to Scorpion King. He took the hit for the team there to kill those berserkers. But now we haven't got any more Parthian cavalry left to help in the battle. Okay, and there's all the enemy troops, all the victorious enemy troops moving towards us now. Ready to finish us off. So there you go, and you can see here that it wouldn't surprise me if Vicox put his Pontus troops into some kind of defensive formation. I've got my red Julii army there, and I can see the Greek cities heading towards my Julii army. Okay, and you might think, well, why aren't I backing off? Because no Roman general wants to take on the Spartans head on. But I've got a plan here. I'm getting over closer to my Pontus ally there, and as those Spartans start to engage the forward units of my battle formation, I think Skema is going to come up with his Carthaginian army there. You can see the Spartans there, and they got SBQR units and the Germanic troops there, all ready to attack. And as I say, I think Skema will bring his Carthage Sacred Band Spearmen into my battle formation to actually help fend off, if you like, the enemy troops there. Okay, you can see the enemy SBQR infantry and cavalry moving forward there, and there comes the line of Spartans there moving forward into the forward units of my battle formation. Make no mistake, I'll be throwing as many pilers into them as I can, but as we know, Spartans with their 2 hit points, they suffer a lot less damage from missiles than any other unit. But well done to Skema there, bringing his fresh Sacred Band Spearmen there through my infantry to engage the Spartans there. It's a nice bit of teamwork there by Skema. Okay, but as we know, as we talked about before, you know, with two of our allies' armies, well, all the Scorpion King's army has now been taken out, and half of Vicox's army has also been taken out. So, as I say, things not looking that good for us. My cavalry there banging into that infantry unit, bang, as it smashes in there. But, as I say, a nice bit of teamwork there by Skema, taking his Carthaginians forward there, kind of take the brunt of the attack of those Spartans. But it's, as I say, it's not just the Spartans. You've got SBQ or Roman SBQ or infantry pushing in as well. So well done to Skema. And I can see that Germanic infantry pushing in as well. There's goes my cavalry trying to take out that infantry unit. And over on the other flank there, you can see that enemy Brutii cavalry taking out, trying to take out the Carthage cavalry as well. I can see several of those Carthage Sacred Band units of Skema already routing. Can you see that? Because I noticed he did have mixed upgrades on his Carthaginians, didn't he? Some of them had 8 upgrades, some of them only had 6, just gold shield, gold attack. And over there you'll see that our Pontus ally there, Vicox, has made a bit of a defensive formation, holding against those Spartans there. And you can see there's Germanic and Brutii cavalry in behind us. Okay, just to pause the game for a second here. So I've got my cavalry there, and you can see the chariots there of Vicox. Now what I was thinking was, if he brought his chariots over, my cavalry and his chariots could maybe chase those Brutii cavalry and those Germanic cavalry away, if not take them out, if you see what I mean. That's something that they may well do. There. You can see I'm hitting that SBQ or infantry unit with my cavalry like a bang as I charge in there. But here you can see all the enemy troops, including those Germanic spearmen now, really pushing in on our Carthage ally. And I think Vicox is doing well. Sad that's his general just been taken out. But Vicox is doing well with his Pontus pikemen there against those Spartans. You can see that Germanic cavalry in behind us there. Wouldn't surprise me if they tried to smash into the back of Vicox, his pikes. You can see there's a chariot unit just smashed into the side of Mantu's infantry, but it's routed almost on impact. And as I say, here you can see Mantu holding his army back at the moment. I think he may well let his allies do the kind of heavy lifting, the attacking, causing casualties to our team, and then he may well move his army around the flank. Okay, that's what I think I would do there. Our flank is quite open there for an attack by the Brutii general. But here, as I say, Vicox's chariots and my cavalry here are going to start to move towards the enemy cavalry, and we'll look to chase them away from behind us. But anyway, you can see Mantu's moving his Brutii army a little bit closer, probably to get in range to start throwing pilers into our troops. And over here, unfortunately, that's Germanic cavalry smashed into the back of some of Vicox's infantry, and Vicox has lost a lot more of his pikes now with the pressure from those Spartans. I noticed Skema's got a couple of his Carthage units over there trying to help. There you can see our chariots there and my cavalry chasing down that Germanic cavalry there. There's some more cavalry getting in behind us as well. We need to be careful of that. But if you notice here, can you see that most of Skema's Carthage Sacred Band units have now been taken out? I can just see, what, 5 maybe left there. And if you notice, I've moved my Jula army on an angle there to try and face the big threat coming in from the Germanic spearmen as well. Okay, oh my gosh. So it looks to me like most of Skema's Carthage Sacred Band spearmen have now been taken out. And as I say, look at Mantu's Brutii army. It's, as I say, our flank is a bit open there if he wanted to come in around the flank. So we'll just have to see what Mantu's going to do there. But here, as I said, oh my god, I think Skema might just have 1 or 2 units left maybe, with all the pressure of that Germanic spearman. Can you see the Germanic spear battle formation moving forward there into our Carthage allies there, and routed that unit as well? And now I think we're going to see a combined Spartan SBQR and Germanic attack on the forward units of my battle formation here. Okay, so they were, I think basically, maybe Skema's got 1 unit left, but all of his Carthage units have now been routed there by the enemy troops. Okay. That's the SBQR general dead, so well done to Vicox, killed the SBQR general. Really well done to him. Okay, so, at this stage of the battle, okay, I'd just like to say well done to Vicox there. He's got 2 or 3, maybe 3 or 4 pike units left there. Done well against that SBQR general, so well done to him. But in the centre here, you can see he's got chariots left. I think he's still got 2 or 3 chariots left. Now that's quite important, I think. And you can see here that now the Spartans are pushing in. I got the Germanic infantry pushing in on me, and the SBQR infantry. Okay, so as you can see at the moment, to be honest, for our team, things are pretty dire. Okay, I can't see any way back for us here. I mean, just look at those troops now moving into the forward units of my battle formation. So we need to do something radical here to try and turn things around. Can you think of anything radical that we could try here to try and turn things around? I'm worried about Mantu's Parthia army coming around my flank. As I say, if you look at Vicox there, I think he's got 2 or 3 units left. There you are. Skema has got 1 unit left now, I believe. That's all he's got out of all of his Carthaginian army, just that 1 unit. And poor old Vicox, I think he's got 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 very battle damaged pike units and a couple of chariots. Okay, and then my Julio army, and that's it. That's all we've got left against this massive odds coming against us. So as I say, to try and change things around here, we're going to have to do something radical. Now, can you think of what we could do here to turn things around? Okay, look at my Julio army, look at the troops in front of my Julio army. If you notice here, can you see the Spartans are either warmed up or fresh, if I remember correctly. Okay, so warmed up or fresh. So they're at their optimum battle proficiency. Okay, so they're fighting to the best of what they can be. So I would never surge attack them in normal situations, because you just wouldn't break through. But if you notice the Germanic spearmen, can you see they are exhausted? If you look at the Germanic spearmen, can you see exhausted there? Okay, if you look at the writing there in the little box, you see exhausted. So what I'm thinking of here, okay, because all these Germanic troops are all exhausted. Think about this, right? If I do a massive surge attack with my infantry and ram home that surge attack with my cavalry, and all those exhausted Germanic spearmen start routing, I reckon that those Spartans would rout as well. I reckon their morale would drop like a stone and they would rout. So do you see what I'm thinking here? I'm thinking of an a radical, old-fashioned surge attack, ram that attack home with my cavalry, get all those exhausted Germanic spear units to rout, and I reckon most of those Spartans would rout as well, and we would have a mass rout on our hands. We've got to try something radical here, otherwise we are going to lose this battle. Okay, so just watch out for my infantry and my cavalry. Okay, now what I'm also thinking here is Vicox has got a couple of chariots left. So if I surge attack with my cavalry and infantry, I'm hoping straight away that Vicox would see the situation and maybe bring his chariots round behind the enemy troops and smash his chariots in behind them at the same time. Okay, so this is what we're looking to do. Okay, for all intents and purposes, the battle's lost. Okay, you can see that we've lost this battle. So as I say, we need to try and do something radical. The Germanic spearmen are at their lowest ebb. They can't get any lower than what they are. Their morale is absolutely rock bottom. A sudden shock attack could well get them mass routing, and then those Spartans will, hopefully, or most of them, will mass rout as well. Okay, now you notice I'm going to move my cavalry over because I'm looking to come in at a certain angle with my cavalry. Okay, looking for more penetration and more hits. Right, now Mantu's moving his Parthia infantry around my flank. So time is the essence now. Watch my infantry. I need to surge attack, and then my cavalry needs to come in. Right, watch my infantry. There you go. Surge attack. Right, here comes the cavalry. Going to ram home the surge attack there. See the cavalry coming in there. Get ready for this. Come on, cavalry, smashing before the Brutii infantry can get to us. And bang! As they smash in there. Still the Spartans are holding, and now here comes the chariots. The fear factor of the chariots coming in behind as well. And bang! Come on, we want a mass rout. Come on. And there you are, there. There you go. Those Germanic, exhausted Germanic spearmen have mass routed, and the Spartans that was in between them have also mass routed as well. Oh my gosh, great bit of teamwork there by Vicox and myself, if I say so myself. Oh my gosh, it worked. The plan worked. So we've mass routed most, well, all of the Germanic troops there and most of the Spartans, but there's still that massive Brutio army of Mantus is basically untouched, and he's now got in behind us. But anyway, the plan worked. Most of the Spartans and all the Germanic troops have just been routed there in that surge attack, backed up by the chariots of Vicox there. So there you are. You can see now I need to chase down those routing troops with my cavalry, try and stop them from rallying. There. You can see my cavalry chasing them down, as I say, trying to stop them from rallying. But you've got this basically untouched Brutio army of Mantus that can now move in on us there. And I'm not sure if we've got the troops to be able to stop that army, because I've got a feeling Mantu still got pilers left as well. And if he's still got pilers left, he's going to damage damage our troops even more. Right, so you can see all that Brutii infantry of Mantus move forward. He's deliberately moved forward there to get in range so he can throw his pilers in. You can see my cavalry there trying to stop enemy units from rallying there. I can see Skema's got one very battle damaged Carthage unit left. And as I say, I think Vicox got 3 or 4 pike units left. I'm not sure if he's got any chariots left now at all. What I want to try and do is get my cavalry in behind the enemy Brutii infantry. But as I say, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, that Mantu had a lot of pilers left as well, so he'll be damaging my infantry even more before we even get into hand-to-hand fighting with his pilers there. And I think all his troops are pretty fresh as well, so see them charge in there in a minute. As I say, I'm trying to get my cavalry in an advantageous position where when he attacks, if I can charge my cavalry in, I might be able to smash into the rear of them there and maybe cause some casualties. But you can see my cavalry is extremely battle damaged anyway, and I can see that Mantu's positioned his infantry to try and block my my cavalry as well. Make no mistake, there are pilers coming in, and those 3 Spartan units that didn't rout, I'm thinking they're going to use those as kind of like the leading attack. They're like the Pathfinder attack there, if you like. And yeah, there you are. You can see the Spartans moving into my forward units. You can see my infantry battle formation as, you know, pretty well battle depleted there. And it wouldn't surprise me if the Brutii troops got in around the flank of my troops there. As I say, Vicox has still got some of his units left. There. You can see all the dead here, can't you? Like the massive dead. But there you are. Watch out for the Brutii attack. I got a feeling he's going to attack from different angles straight in there. And there you can see 2 Germanic spear units that have rallied and coming back in behind us. There. Luckily my general's still alive, so I'm still got general morale bonus for my troops. But as you can see, all my units are very battle depleted. There. And watch out for the Brutii attack there. There you can see Mantu charging forward now. Look. Charging forward with his infantry. He'll come around the flanks as well. There you are, coming in on the flanks as well as head on. And he's booked 3 infantry out the back of his attacking troops to block my cavalry. Nice move there by Mantu. And you can see Vicox bringing over a couple of his pike units to try and help here. But the pressure that my infantry are under, just from the sheer numbers of Spartans and Brutii infantry pushing in on me there. And it is, unfortunately, because he's blocked my access for a cavalry attack, I can't really help my infantry with my cavalry either. Oh my gosh, there's still pilers coming in. Mantu's still throwing pilers into us. Right, there's my cavalry. I'm trying to hit into the back of those attacking Brutii infantry, but he's blocked my cavalry with one of his infantry units there, like a bang! Nice smash in there, but my cavalry was all very battle depleted anyway, so I don't think I was going to do a lot of damage there. You can see I got Germanic spearmen in behind my general there as well. You can see the Brutii and Spartan units really pushing in to my my infantry there. Still managing to hold even against all those numbers, look. Even all those Brutii numbers pushing in on me there. And that, as I say, that Germanic spear unit in behind me as well. There's a Germanic cavalry unit going to smash in a Vicox unit there like a bang as it smashed in there. Oh my gosh. Right, so that's one of my units gone. Vicox's unit's gone. I've got 2 units left. That's all I've got left now. Oh no, just one now. Just the general. Can he hold? I'm just looking at all the enemy troops. No, he's gone as well. So well done to the enemy team. Really well played there. Was a great game there and a well-deserved win. If you remember, the battle kind of kicked off all the way over here, where poor old Scorpion King lost half of his cavalry on this particular hill here, if you remember there. And then over here, this is where Vicox lost half of his pike army here in that mini army he took over there that got caught by the Spartans and the Germanic troops there. Those are all dead Pontus pikemen there. So that's where we lost half of our team's army there. And then as we moved over here, you can see a little bit of skirmishing there. But the most intense part of the fighting was obviously here. As you can see there, you can see all the dead there. And mass, you know, you can see that. You could just, in the long grass, you could just see how many dead there. I thought when we got that mass route going, we might have been able to turn things around a little bit, but sadly we couldn't there. So, well, as I say, well done to the enemy team. Let's say loads of dead troops there. And yeah, it was great, a great battle there. So well done to the other team. My general just been killed. I thought he held well right to the end there. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to say is really well played to everybody in the game. I thought everybody played well. Now, bearing in mind what happened to our team at the beginning of the battle, to only be a close defeat, I thought we did quite well, really. Highest kills in the game goes to a Brotherhood member, Royer. 2,266 kills with his Spartans. So really well done to him. Great kills there with his Spartan army. Did really well. Well done to Mars. He got over 1,000 kills with his Germanic army, that unusual Germanic army build. So well done to him. As I say, well done to Royer, highest kills in the game. Well done to Tabor there. You can see that he got one of the lowest army numbers in the game there, but still got the highest kills there. So well done to him. Well done to Tabor. He'll be a bit disappointed he got less than 1,000 kills there, but well done to him. And well done to Mantu, got some good kills there. And look at the troops that he's got left. He's only lost, what, over 450, something like that? He only lost 450 troops in the whole battle. So well done to Mantu. Well done, team. My kills, oh, that's unusual to get over 2,000 kills for 2 players in a battle, and especially a player in the losing team to get over 2,000 kills is quite unusual there as well. So yeah, I'm pleased with that, really. Well done to Skema. He'll be a bit disappointed he got less than 1,000 kills, but well played to him. Good teamwork as always. Well done to Vicox. He'll be disappointed he got less than 1,000 kills, but he did well with his Pontus army. And well done to Scorpion King. He'll probably be very disappointed with his kills, but he sacrificed his cavalry to kill those berserkers. So he took one for the team there. Any faction advantage here, do you think? We got Rome, Carthage, Pontus, and Parthia. Quite a strong combination, you say? There, it's not too bad. And the enemy team had Germania, Greek cities, Rome, and Rome. So please put your thoughts in the comments about faction advantage there. I just thought that was an interesting battle. And bearing in mind what happened to our team at the beginning of the battle there, for us to make this a close defeat, I thought the team did very well. As I say, we play every Friday, Saturday and Sunday on Rome Total War multiplayer. Please come and join us. And if you're in a good battle, you may well see yourself on this YouTube channel. This is Spartan Commander saying bye for now. Please leave a comment. See you soon.